The Insurance Information Network of California reports the average cost to rebuild a home in California ranges from $100 to $300 per square foot. But industry experts say the actual cost to rebuild in San Diego County may be as high as $500 per square foot. Here to explain how to figure out if you have enough insurance coverage and when you can make changes to your fire policy are Nancy Kincaid with the Department of Insurance and Cal Western Law Professor Kenneth Klein. Welcome.
Thank you.
Kenneth, you lost your home in the Scripps Ranch fires back in 2003 wildfires. What did you learn about insurance from that experience?
I learned that at least 80% of us across the entire nation are underinsured by at least 20%.
So being underinsured, define that for us. These people had, your neighbors, you included, had fire insurance.
That's right. Being underinsured means that the amount of money you need to rebuild your home is less than the amount of coverage you have available to you from the insurance company.
Nancy, how do you determine if your fire policy is adequate?
Yeah, the most important thing to do is, as a homeowner, find out, as you opened with, what is the average cost to rebuild a home in your area? Because it does vary from area to area. Many people base their insurance coverage on the value, market value of their home. That is not the level to which you need to be insured. It is the cost to rebuild.
How do you get that information?
You can actually get that information by talking to contractors, looking at what it costs to build a new home in your area. If your home is completely destroyed, that's what you are doing. You can certainly talk to insurance agents and see if they have information from fires past or disasters or fires recently that can give you an idea of what it costs to rebuild.
How often do you think you should check and update the valuation and your fire coverage?
At a minimum, once a year. When you renew your insurance, you should be checking to see, make sure, because a number of factors can influence the cost. From demand surge, if there's a lot of building already going on in your area and there may be a shortage of contractors or materials that are needed to rebuild your home, you'll see the prices will go up, and that could drive up the cost of rebuilding. Certainly after a major fire, we see that kind of thing happen.
For those people whose homes weren't damaged in this fire, but they are a little bit panicked now because they're watching this fire coverage, can you up your fire policy now? And if so, how long do you have to wait before you can?
Typically after a disaster, there's a moratorium on buying new insurance. That doesn't mean that you may not be able to adjust your existing policy. You need to check with your insurer. You can also check with the Department of Insurance, Consumer Services. We can help you at 800-927-4357.
Kenneth, what's your advice to making sure your home is fully covered, is the valuation is correct?
Well, I need to preface this by saying what the problem is, which is that buried in the middle of your many-page insurance policy is typically a clause that says if your insurance is not enough, it's your problem, not the insurance company's problem, and the California courts have tended to enforce that clause. So what you need to do is, in writing, email will count, connect with your insurance broker or agent and say, I want to have enough money that if I lost my home, I would have enough insurance coverage to rebuild it. You tell me that amount, that's what I'm willing to pay for. And when they write you back, save both of those writings and save them in some place other than your house.
What else, Kenneth, do you think homeowners need to be aware of when it comes to either evacuations, like we saw mandatory evacuations, or protecting the contents of their home?
Well, in terms of protecting their contents, I think most people have a fairly good idea of the obvious things they need to take away. Their photos, their things that have sentimental value, their pets, their computers, their cell phones. Two things I think people don't often think about are power cords, the power recharger cords for their computers and phones. And the other is ammo. There was a home, for instance, in my neighborhood where the firefighters were there and they could have saved the home, but the ammo started going off, and so they couldn't save the home.
I understand also that some, if there's mandatory evacuees, that you could actually, Nancy, that insurance companies reimburse for that or pay for if they have to go live elsewhere.
Yes, it's called additional living expense, and it's available to you under your homeowner policy, and it can cover everything from a hotel or another place where you're paying rent while your home is being rebuilt, or while you're evacuated, the food and expenses that come with being evacuated from your property.
And Kenneth, we'll end on this. There's also, can you protect the contents? Clearly you can, of your home. What should you do to protect your home as far as the contents inside, and where do you put those documents or video?
Well, first thing is most things electronically now can be stored on the cloud, but don't depend on a fire safe. The fire safe will survive, but the contents of it will be ashes. So a safety deposit box, a friend, the cloud, a computer hard drive, someplace other than in the house.
All right. Well, Professor Kenneth Klein and Nancy Kincaid, thank you so much. We have a whole lot of resources on our website for people on this very issue at kpbs.org. Thanks again.
Thank you.